So in this lesson, Module 5, Lesson 1, we're going to talk about preparing your application. So this is clearly one of the more important chapters. I think they're all important, but this is one of the most important ones. So fundamental principle, avoid shortcuts at all costs. I see this all the time. You know, people will write write down wrong things on on the application, and they don't necessarily even know if it's right or not. They're just going to hope that it slides past, or they don't necessarily do the research that, they don't follow the steps that the application says for them to do, and the state's just going to send it back to you, and you're going to waste your time. So you need to review the application thoroughly. Just when you get the application, take your time, have the application on one side, a notebook on the other side, or your laptop, take notes. If you don't understand something, write it down, and you can always call the state or call the licensing authorities and get their advice. I mean, that's what they're there for. So, review it thoroughly, take your notes, things that you don't know, things you need to do. Then you have to follow the instructions precisely. If it says we need a hand-drawn map of the first floor, then you need to do that. You can't give them a written description of it. And if you don't understand something, like I said, just call. Utilize a document checklist. So these applications, they'll have checklists that's attached to them. And then they make it easy for you. Easy enough. Just go down the checklist, see which ones that you can knock out and when, and just knock out what you can, and then check them off. Because if you try to do things disjointed, it's just going to come back and bite you. For example, even that first property, it took me a lot longer to license it because I wasn't really going off the checklist. I thought, oh, I got this. It's not hard. And I would just do things here and there, and I didn't really go through the checklist. And really, I turned in the application. They sent it right back to me. They sent it back saying, "Oh, your application is incomplete, or you're missing some items that we said we needed." And they're not going to come out and see a property until they have a completed application. A lot of times, people will send in an application and say, "Oh, I sent it in. Can I just give you the documents when you come?" They're going to tell you, "No, like we need these before we even come out, schedule to come out to see your property." And then it's always good to just seek expert guidance, like with a consultant, with me or another consultant. And that way you don't have to make the same mistakes. If somebody's been doing this for 15 years, they've forgotten more about this business than you know. If you're in the licensing stage and you just your first facility, like I'm pretty sure I've forgotten more about this than you will probably know in the next 10 or 15 years. Like there's little things you'll be talking to me about, or have clients I'm like, oh, yeah, that's right, yeah. Oh, that brings back memories. And now to me, it's just comes second nature. So, and speak to someone where these little things just is second nature to them. Whether it's a consultant or you can go to the state. A lot of times the state will talk to you, and sometimes they'll shoo you away. They'll say, "Oh, it's written in documentation." And just like any licensing authority, you get people that aren't friendly, but if you can't find nice people, just try to hire a consultant to work with. It'll be worth it because you'll save your time. It'll save you money and time. So, upload application for reference. So, upload it to a shared platform like Google Documents. So, this is important. I learned this too. You can have a document here that you're working on, that you're checking things off of, and say you're working with me. If you want me to see your document or see what you're doing real time, you could just tell me, say, "Hey, Kwame, I'm going to add you to my application on Google Docs," or I use another platform called HoneyBook. I'll leave that too. I'll leave the link to that as well. But you can upload your, document, and you can literally invite me to look at your document as you're working on it. So I can log in and say, "Oh no, like you're not